Warning: the following video may have language that some viewers may find offensive, and others are already offended. Viewer discretion is advised, but not really. No animals were hurt in the making of this 4-hour feature film.
Proud to call a friend. You were definitely my favorite when I lived there. Have a fun time on the podcast. The best. I'll be tuning in. St. Thomas is lucky to have a community ambassador like you. These are some of the comments that were sent in to me when I posted about my guest that's sitting right across here in the hot seat. And these are people in the community that over the years I've got to know. Katherine McNeil is my guest. So, Katherine, thank you.
Hi, Tony.
Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
You know what? I read these as, you're a rock star as usual, Kath. Way to go, bestie. So proud of you. I'm sure you might know where that one came from. Katherine, such a great reputation with the disfranchised of St. Thomas. She's professional, respectful, but does her very difficult job. Very good person to interview. Speak out frontline police officers' perspective. So, respectful, but does her very difficult these days job. Cool. To know that you've got a job to do, but right. to affect people like that, that's got to warm your heart.
It does. It does. It really, I get emotional when I read those comments.
Well, you made an impact. You know how many people they go through life and they just, I just want to leave a legacy, or I wish I could just do something that's impactful. You have.
Yeah, and it was never my plan. It was never my plan to get comments like that or whatever. I just have done policing how I think it should be done, and treating people how I think they should be treated.
But it's who you are.
And that's just the choice I made. And
cool.
After all these years, to end off with all those beautiful comments and memories is just the icing on the cake for me.
Cool. So you see all these years. So what, 31 years now?
31 years.
We were talking so 1993.
Yes. Yeah. June 28th was day one.
Amazing. Wow. So you get out of school and you apply, you get on the police station. What made you become a cop? Why did you want to do it?
There was no defining moment, and I really don't know. I know for sure in grade 6, I wanted to be a police officer, and the only reason I can pinpoint it is because back then, the computers were as big as this room, and in grade 6, there was a career section, and you picked your 3 careers you were interested in, and the computer printed out on those big perforated sheets of green and white, those copies, and it told you about those careers that you chose, what schooling you need, personality, all that kind of stuff. So I had that for years, and that's how I knew in grade 6 for sure, is I was thinking about it. But there was nothing, I have no idea if it, I was a bit of a tomboy, I was a very law-abiding, good kid, I like helping people, very active in my life, community and whatever. I really don't know why. I have nobody in my family that was a police officer, so I wasn't following, in anyone's footsteps.
That was going to be a question.
Weirdest. I'm one of the only ones, though, too. Most of my coworkers had some lot of policing in their family in some way. Not everybody, but yeah.
Now you said grade 6. So where'd you grow up?
London.
London. Okay.
Public school, high school, and then Western, even in London as well.
What'd you take at Western?
Kinesiology.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was always, sports, athletics. I worked at the gym. I was a trainer, things like that. And if you're going to do extra school, I always say, take something you're interested in.
Yeah.
And, back then in policing, not many people even had a degree. So, and it didn't really matter that it wasn't criminology or anything like that. And really for criminology back then, I would have had to go to Carleton University in Ottawa. And there really was nothing around here. And I wasn't going to Ottawa. I was a home girl. And so I took what I was interested in and what my field and my life was. So
Okay. I gotta ask. I don't know. Just grade 6.
Yes.
What were you, like 6'5" then?
no, look, I'm only
Yeah.
5'11". I know roughly. I remember by grade 8 I was 5'8", and by grade
Okay.
11 I was 5'11", and I was done.
Wow.
So I haven't grown since grade 11, and I was never towering over anybody. There was always other girls.
I remember here one
that were
time
tall.
somebody referred to you the gentle giant walking down Talbot Street. Yeah.
Well, especially when I would walk with some special constables that were 5'0" nothing. Those days were not fun
Yeah,
for
you
me
would-
because then I looked way like I'm tall. Obviously, that's my life.
Yeah.
But when you walk with someone a foot taller, a foot shorter than you, those times I was walking with them, I mean, I was just I just looked massive.
Maybe that's where it all came from.
Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. So.
Well, I know that's
just
why
life.
all the years we worked together doing Crime Stoppers.
Yes.
My years back at Rogers TV. We did that for a long time.
6 years.
I never got to appear with you on there because that way you were always taller than me still. So. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be. I
good
wouldn't be showing
times,
up
good
that way, but-
memories. You know,
Yeah.
you've been very
You-
involved in the community yourself, and you know we've been side by side for a lot of stuff
Yeah,
for a
we
lot
have.
of years. So
We've seen a lot.
you're a good community member yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. You're probably only saying that because you did mention about the blooper reel that I used to have on you that we showed many years ago at a banquet that I think you were happy when I said, yeah, I don't have that anymore. So.
It was funny.
If
but,
I did, I would.
I didn't know you had it. But that was the funny part. Is at my send off for going on, not doing Crime Stoppers coordinating
That's right.
anymore, was the party. And I didn't
Yeah,
even know you
didn't
had
know-
that.
You didn't
I
know
didn't
I
know.
was going to show that.
No, I
that
had
night.
no idea. So that was funny.
Oh, that is so
It was
good.
quite funny.
So over the years serving in St. Thomas, what's some of your best memories? 31 years, there must be some stuff that just pops right out at you.
Well, I was a race car driver for 10 years, racing my dad's car.
Hey, speaking of that,
Yeah.
yes, let's, I think I have a photo of that, do we not? Yes. Here we are. So,
Now
yes,
that's not my car.
That's not your car?
I sold mine in 2002 after 10 years of racing and started
Okay.
having children.
No.
But when I became the Crime Stoppers coordinator again, that's when I partnered up with the Sparta Raceway and the guy that was leasing the
okay.
track at that time, Jay Morse. And so for 4 years, we did this Beat the Heat, and I just drove whatever car they gave me that was theirs. My 79
okay.
Camaro Z28
So
was sold.
this picture, this is you in that,
It is
in the
me,
car.
but it was
Okay.
driving their cars, and people paid
okay.
$5 to ride down the track with me as a donation to Crime Stoppers, or if you raced against me. It was a Friday night street legal night, so the kids with their street cars
Okay.
could pay $5 to race against me.
Oh, cool.
So that's
Race
what
a
that
car.
picture's from. Yeah, and all the money, went to Crime Stoppers. It was one of our, many fundraisers that we did at the time. We did that for
Okay.
4 years. We did that one
Oh,
or
wow.
2 nights
That was
each,
before I
each
even
season.
knew you then, but I would like to.
Yeah, the car
that
was
would've
sold
been
in
fun.
2002.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, July.
Okay.
But it was a 79 Camaro Z28, which, it was my dad's, and he used to street race with his brothers as a hoodlum in London growing up, and his dream was to have a race car again, and I'm kind of a car freak myself, so we raced together, and but the kids at Arthur, so my fond memories, not just because I'm a race car driver, that had nothing to do with policing, but I brought, as the community service officer going to the schools, I brought that car that was green to Arthur Voden High School, in their body shop, their automotive kids, they redid it and
they?
painted it and did the body work, and it became a police car, and I had roof lights and sirens and painted white. The St. Thomas Police supported it. I got the decal, our big emblem on each side of the car. It looked like a police car. So I
Cool.
took that to every community service thing, event, but those kids that worked on my car got their name on the bumper. Their names on the
Oh,
bumper.
did they?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
cool.
was pretty cool. So that's huge.
Yeah.
That was a huge community thing that I just very, very fond memories of.
That's cool.
Working with those kids. It was pretty
So
cool.
31 years, police officer.
Mhm.
Okay, 1993. What was your first job?
Well, babysitting first, but then I was delivered
Yeah.
penny saver. But
Did you have to go through that whole course, the babysitting course?
No, I
back
don't
then?
even think there was one, to be honest.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if there was, but no, my sister was older and she was the babysitter, and I just fell into taking over her jobs initially that she wasn't available for, to eventually just taking over her whole stable of kids that she was babysitting. So I kind of inherited it. But delivering the penny saver when I was 13, and then the real
saver.
job was Burger King. I worked at Burger King for 4 years through high school. So.
Yeah. What store was that in London?
By White Oaks Mall on Wellington Road South. That's where I grew up in Westminster Park, down in the south, and so that was the closest. And
I wondered if a McDonald's or something was going to
yeah,
pop up here.
I loved it.
All kids did.
I loved it, and I stayed for 4 years. And the beauty of that, because kids came and went, right, within those jobs.
Yeah.
But I played a lot of sports,
Okay.
and staying there, I got to pick and choose my shifts around my sports schedule, so I didn't miss a tournament for basketball or volleyball and that kind of stuff. So I really liked it, but it paid off being the long-term member that they let me work around whatever my sports schedule was and still work, the busy shifts that they needed me for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
That is so cool. So regarding social media, there's so many pros and cons, but do you think it's been a great help to police services, or do you find it more negative?
My first thought goes to video surveillance. And I think I have no stats whatsoever, but I think we identify way more bad guys now.
Yeah.
Because if I had a shoplifting somewhere and I got a still shot or the video of their face, I send it to all my coworkers to see if they know that person in our little service, but also you can send it across like London and area, and then sometimes London. Well, a lot of times if they come from London and steal here or whatever, the London crime unit has identified our people for us. So that's where I go first of all but that's not really social media. That's like video surveillance. Social media, you're talking about our police posts, and now we have a full-time social media person, whereas we never used to.
Yeah,
reporting daily on our incidents, what happens every day.
But there's also the fact of people and cell phones, and I mean, you can't be doing anything anymore without somebody videotaping you. I mean, the job itself.
And now we wear the body-worn camera. So even if there's not citizens taking our video, we have constant footage of every call that we go on, for sure.
Right.
It's never bothered me. Like we're all human, and you might mess up and say some things sometimes, but like I don't care who sees me do my job. Like I don't really care. Like if you want to videotape me and me doing my job and send it in or complain, like go for it. Like I act in good faith and do the best that I can do on every call. So it doesn't change how I service the community and do my job. But it's unfortunate in some ways. But if you catch us on a bad day or you make a wrong call on something and it's on video, I mean that really sucks. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But
now, what happens if somebody, just out of curiosity, so say somebody recorded something, and so it gets reported back, or somebody phones in and said, hey, whatever. How does the protocol go? Does your door knock at the police station, and it's the chief saying, come with me?
Well, there's a process for complaints, even pre-video. Like it's a process that if you want to complain about a police officer, you have to follow it with my supervisor generally first.
Okay.
And then it goes from there, or you can go right to the OIR PD in Toronto and instead of coming to St. Thomas, some people don't want to do that, and they go fill out the forms to complain about an officer in Toronto.
I've heard people say before, this happened, and we'll go, make a complaint. They're like, why? It'll never get dealt with.
Well, and that's why if you feel like it's not going to if you have that attitude and you think that my boss isn't going to discipline me, or we're not going to, discipline our own people, that's why the Ontario one is there. Yeah. And you can just go, and you have it's an independent review board that, I've had a couple complaints, and, I've read them, and, we're allowed to reply.
Yeah, sure.
So I replied. You have to remember, like, I'm not elevated when I'm doing a traffic stop with you. Your heart is racing. Your memory isn't probably as clear. And, for example, and we always get to reply to the complaints,
Okay.
and
See,
say
I
our
couldn't do
side.
that today. That job, I couldn't do that job. Would you do?
Policing?
Yeah, I'd be in the freaking principal's office more than I would be. I'm too outspoken now to, I don't think I can hold back like I used to. So, yeah, it's not for me.
You might have been fined 30 years ago.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
back then. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I did try. I did try way back in actually 1992, but
Oh.
in the OPP up in Grand Bend.
Oh.
It was just it was a big push women and minority groups at that time, and he just said, Tony, he said, you'll never get on. It just, that was what they were looking for at the time, and I went into truck driving.
Yeah.
So that's what went after that. But so when you retired, because 31 years, you must be coming up at some point where, do you see that light for retirement?
Yeah, like I had a little sidetrack because I did resign, 7.5 years ago, and it kind of messed up my pension a little bit. So that's the reason, I'm still here with that little decision that I made. So, the good thing is I love my job. I've always loved my job, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to work. There's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, and as soon as all the finances get in a row with that blip, I'll be happily retired. But
so when you retire, what's the one thing you want to remembered for? When somebody thinks of St. Thomas and the police, instantly they think of you. Why?
Like I said, I just have policed the way I think policing should be done, and treated people how respectfully, and I still arrest the crap out of them. I still charge them. I still do everything I need to do, but at the end they thank me for it. Like they like police still, because I'm not, treating them badly. I treat them respectfully. They know they've done wrong if they're on, in handcuffs. Absolutely. I don't need to chastise them, and just say, hey, this is why you're under arrest, and there's always.
I did tell you a long time ago, many years ago, I said, if I am going to get arrested, I hope it was you that was going to do it. So at least. Now, what do you love to do in your off time?
I have a dog, which I love my dog, and taking her for walks and hanging out with her. I like to read. I love climbing mountains. We go to Arizona a lot.
Oh, really?
And,
Rock climber?
Oh, mountains.
Mountains.
Not rock climbing.
So you're not...
No rock climbing.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no.
So you
but
want to go up the paths
climbing, up the paths, and
wow.
I love that. So I love Arizona. I love climbing mountains. I'm more of a pool as opposed to the ocean. I've done a lot of traveling in my life and lots of oceans, but right now my place is Arizona that I like the best. And we go to Tennessee a lot too. So it's a little bit closer, a nice 10-hour drive instead of the distance to Arizona. And we love going to Tennessee.
Many years ago, I drove down to Key West, Florida. My brother used to live there, and I remember going through Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains. And
yep, that's where we are.
Really
in
nice.
Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, where Dollywood is Pigeon Forge.
I made her down to Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where we stopped.
So southeast of Knoxville, just out of town, southeast is Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg.
Wow.
So
beautiful there though.
Yeah, we've renovated, every house that I've lived in, it's been renovated. We like fixing places up, and
so you like doing rentals?
I like exercising. Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always every house I've bought always needs something, and so we just have always done it ourselves, and I just like the end product. I'm not going to say I love being a renovator, I know with a coat of paint, even something simple like that, you can really change a house. Just elevate it simply. So I just like the end products mostly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't mind doing the work, but I just can see the end is going to be so great that it's worth it. It's worth your work.
Yeah.
But I like exercising, and I like reading, and
so now
with my
that
kids.
you mentioned now you're at the court.
Yes.
So the courthouse.
Yes.
How do you like that then compared to being out from patrol or walking the streets? I mean, that's got to be a big change.
Oh, it's quite an adjustment. I mean, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And walking the beat and talking to people, and constantly being of a service to somebody, to go into the courthouse. And, my main job is security of the judge and sitting in courtrooms.
Okay.
It's definitely
There's some
an
real
adjustment.
interesting stuff.
It is. Like I'm happy. Like I
Definitely.
like it. I'm happy. But man,
Yeah.
I miss downtown.
Some of those days got to be long.
I mean, but I've been there, done it too. Like I've done all my lateral jobs, all my community jobs that I wanted to do. I know it's time for other people to, take over. And it's a special constables downtown now. The constables aren't walking.
Okay, there's one of the new stuff that we see.
know.
We never had special constables before.
No.
So that is their specific job. Is it just they walk downtown and did
that,
they do like
that unit of special, because we have special constables at the courthouse as well.
Yes, correct.
And then the special constables it's called the crew team, that walk. That's what they do. They walk downtown.
They have
in
the
our
yellow,
service.
the
Yeah.
yellow
The
shirts that we see.
chartreuse,
Yeah.
bright. Can't miss them on the street corner.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
see them. And they're like more of a social worker background kind of group,
Okay.
dealing with, the homeless, drug addicted, mental health,
Yeah.
hooking them up to services. And,
That
it's just
that's also
changed. But
that has to be so frustrating on like in your position or on the police side is the way the catch and release and everything how it works today, and they always blame the cops for it. It's not you guys.
No.
You can only do so much. And
it's not up to us at all.
No, that's right. And
Completely out of our hands, and that's what people have to know.
it's not just our problem. This is everywhere.
Yeah.
It don't matter where. I go all the way up to Berks Falls or North Bay. It's horrible up there.
Oh yeah.
The homeless, the drugs, it's everywhere.
Well, just talking about
And-
changes in policing, like I said, when I started, you walked the beat when you were new.
Yeah.
And I never got a car unless someone was sick or,
Oh,
they're
okay.
short people. Otherwise, you walk the beat. So
Yeah.
going back at the end of my career and doing the last 3.5 years downtown, I mean, the most significant changes, like we never had homeless people back then.
No.
And if by chance, once in a while, I ran into somebody downtown that I, said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have somewhere to stay." We called the captain at the Salvation Army Church, and he would put them up for a night at a motel. That one person every once in a while.
Yeah.
And now, I mean,
yeah.
it's, obviously you can see the amount of homeless people is just,
It's
outright,
bad.
huge. So, that is huge. Our downtown was not like that, 31 years ago. And, it's very sad. That's a huge change with being a beat walker and what you do downtown and what I used to do downtown. It's different.
So for those that don't know what walking the beat would be, is that you're going down, like you're pulling on store doors and
That's what
just
we used to
seeing
do. In those early days, you did front doors, back doors. Like you
Okay.
worked 12-hour days, 12-hour nights, the whole, 48-hour block that you worked week after week. You walked, and you did do that. We don't necessarily do that anymore. It's more of, there's just so many people downtown day and night, 24/7.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
once the doors and windows were done, we had Johnny Stevens Bakery down at the West End. He'd be in the store, I don't know if it was 3 a.m. or something, and we'd go in the back door and, visit with him for a little bit,
Okay.
for fun. But now it's, homeless people 24/7. So that's just a little bit different.
It is a different world now. I do remember growing up in Mitchell. My dad was a cop, and they used to walk the downtown all the time, pull doors and stuff.
Yeah, and over the years, all these years, the beat's been, a focus, and then it wasn't because there was something else to focus on. And officers, we didn't walk the beat quite as often, and then it became the forefront again. It's kind of come and gone, and now, when COVID started, and other officers didn't have a full-time position, that's when it started, and they realized the value of having officers, whether it was, a constable or now the special constables, the huge benefits to the downtown of having that beat unit again. And, it's really important. So,
Okay. Well,
but definitely a different job down there than it was all those years ago.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a whole
In a
different.
lot of ways.
I remember, riding around with my dad back then as a kid. He used to be in the front seat of the police car. We'd drive around other officers' houses and visit. My dad, he used to say at 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd drive by the old funeral home. The director would be outside. He might be working on someone's loved one. he's taking a break outside, having a sandwich or a smoke, my dad would pull up and visit with him for an hour or whatever. Just a whole different world back then.
Well, our OPP, Elgin, were done at, I think it was 3 a.m. They didn't work past 3 a.m.
Oh, didn't they?
Yeah, they were done their shifts at 3
Oh, I
a.m.
never
There was
knew
no,
that.
no OPP. I remember being totally shocked. And,
I never knew
you know,
that.
I don't know if they started at 6 in the morning or 7, but like 3 to 6 a.m. there wasn't even OPP working. And then
The whole
eventually,
county? Wow.
eventually, obviously, as you know, for
Well,
many years now, they do work 24/7.
course,
But at that
yeah.
time, I don't know about all the OPP in the whole province. I just can speak with Elgin. They were done. I think it was
that's
3 a.m.
funny.
I know. It was,
I never even
I
knew
had
that.
no idea either.
Man, that's a criminal's delight, that one.
That's
isn't
what
it?
I thought. I go, geez, if anyone ever finds out, man, just go. Because no one's, like, they'll be on call maybe, you know, to fly out, but they were done.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And, well, it looks like you are also into gardening. Is this
Yes.
your hobby, or like this is
It
what you
was.
want to do?
It was.
You like that? It was, yeah.
We had a farm. We sold it 2 years ago. And I had a huge, massive, massive farm. And I was just trying to be more self-sustaining and, you know, canning and pickling and, you know, using the
Yeah.
vegetables from my garden and, you know, just, I mean, obviously I had electricity. I wasn't living in the boonies, but just trying to be more self-sustaining with
That's
my
a lot of
food.
work, though, gardens.
But I
mean-
worked part-time then. That's when I was just working part-time.
Oh, okay.
And so working 3 days a week, I
Yeah.
could manage my massive gardens and
I mean, that one there with the show of not the tomatoes, but the actual garden, that's a big garden.
it was huge.
That thing's not.
It was
There's
huge.
hours into those things.
Yeah.
Every
It
time
was great though.
every time I tried gardens before, and every time I did, they turned into weed factories.
Well,
And then
working part-time, I could keep that up.
Yeah.
I could do that. And then I started working full-time again when COVID hit. And then, you know, things went, I couldn't maintain such a huge garden. And now we
Okay.
moved and I still have a garden, but it's a fraction of that size. And that was hard for me.
Oh,
But no, I love vegetable gardens. Like I just love
Now I'm
growing
looking.
stuff and eating what I grow. I love it.
That is nice, though. The freshness. Oh, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do miss having a garden. but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could
Little
ever
one.
not have one. I just can't imagine not having one.
Yeah. No. I actually here in the apartment building, I still wish I could get some big pots and grow some tomatoes and stuff on the roof.
Yep.
Would be nice. I'd like to. I wish we had community gardens out here, but we just kind of hard to grow it on the parking lot.
On the parking lot, yeah.
A little tough there, but
Yeah, you're probably not going to be very successful there.
what makes Katherine happy then?
I don't know. I love serving the community. That, as far as my job goes, I love serving them. I love helping people. I love doing my job, you know,
And your dog.
respectfully. Oh, I love my dog. I love my
course.
kids. I love my
The dogs?
family.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's-
simple. It's just as you know, like I just want simple things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just want peace. I just want simple life, and
Yep.
you know,
Nice.
I'm simple.
So flip it. What really makes you mad? What would get your goat going?
I don't know what makes me mad. I don't know. I'm pretty.
I've
I
said
don't know. I don't know.
I've
What
said
makes
in
me
other
mad?
podcasts, but Mike Vecchio had the best one.
What
He said shitty people.
shitty people? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean
And
I don't
laughed.
like. I
It's
don't.
true.
If you're a good person and you're a good community, you know, contributing member of society, you know, that makes my job easier. But without, you know, without the criminals, I wouldn't have job security. So I
Yeah, I guess
appreciate
that's the other
them too,
thing, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
There's the positive side
you know,
to it.
but yeah, shitty people.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
there's just so many of them. It's hard to be mad about that because man, I'd be in a state of.
What really,
madness.
I could handle somebody face to face better than I do when I see it online. Keyboard warriors, they fire me up something.
That's a
fierce.
whole nother story.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do a whole podcast on that one.
Oh yeah,
Or
keyboard
many.
warriors.
Serial,
Yes.
serial. Because you're pretty heavy on
Yeah.
social media yourself, so I'm sure you have a lot of
I try
would
to
have a
back
lot
off,
of
but yeah.
incidents that you could probably talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine.
Oh, I've had even back from doing Crime Stopper days, I've had people write in back then and say, you know, take that off or don't show that or that's my brother and you know you're gonna get this and I've had it. I've had the stories when I did local news coverage and did stuff around. I had people say,
Yeah, you're always going to have your critics. And
my
people who
answer to
don't
them
like
was,
something.
hey, well, if you know where I am, come on over. Coffee's on.
Or you do
There
it.
was no coffee, but come on over. They didn't know that.
They didn't know.
So somebody's going to come up to you and they're going to bribe you with food. What would work?
Apparently, I'm a foodie. My coworker Colleen has informed me at the courthouse that I am a foodie because I do like food.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've really gotten into like sugar-free, gluten-free kind of stuff in the last like 5 years or so. Just as I've gotten older, that kind of stuff. So I'm, but I do like going out for dinner.
Yeah.
You take me out for dinner. I love that.
Were you doing the ketones or something? Were they? Yeah.
Yeah, I still drink ketones daily.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
It's like a carb aware thing. And I never had to worry about weight or anything like that. I've always really liked healthy food, but I also ate a lot of junk. But I just realized once I got in my late 40s that I was gaining weight and I wasn't doing anything different. I didn't exercise less. I didn't eat more junk or whatever. It's just, unfortunately for all of us, male and female, but I think us women have it, worse with our, by the biology. And I don't like gaining weight. So I just learned more about food. Like just learned about, sugar makes you fat and using, trying to make sugar-free desserts because I like my desserts. And I learned that you can make really, really great desserts that, don't have sugar in it that,
but you know
make
what?
you fat.
So. I've said for years, and when I was driving truck, that round is still a shape.
It's still a shape.
So don't ever worry about
like
that,
I don't worry about being skinny like I was, was in my youth. I don't care about that, but just reading labels and seeing and going like, when I'd have lemonade and not realize that, 1/3 of a cup, who drinks 1/3 of a cup or half a cup? I probably have 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, and a glass of lemonade. But if each serving has 10 grams of sugar, like, do I really want that lemonade? No, I don't want to drink it. I'm going to have a donut and I'm going to eat my sugar. I'm not going to drink my sugar. Kind of just reading labels, kind of stuff I got into. So, I used to sell food, like from my garden, all this stuff I made. And, I used to, when I worked part-time, I went to markets and I had food in Crockers, which is now closed on Talbot Street in St. Thomas.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, Crockers.
Laura sold my food in there.
Oh, did she? Okay.
And had a good little following there. And, it was pretty, I was into that.
Yeah. It's sad to
Still
see
am.
some of those stores go.
I know. Once COVID hit, so many of those stores, I just got
It changed everything. Still not back to
They never bounced back, Crockers.
No.
And I think it was this summer they closed up. So
That's a shame.
that's very sad. They had some beautiful stuff.
It
in
is
there.
sad now when I see
Beautiful
some places.
crafters.
I mean, look at what we have coming. With the new battery plant and the spin-off plants. And I mean, this is a great opportunity now to, get a store in there and have something. But
Well, let's
it's
hope.
trying to survive that
Let's
long.
hope that that boosts, people live here and work here, at the plant, and it brings in business. Let's hope.
Yeah. So maybe we could get out of here. I'll take you out for supper. We'll go to Burger
Food.
King. How's that?
Take me back to my roots.
Yeah, there you go. We'll make it full circle. So,
Yeah.
so last question for you. So if you could go anywhere in the world today, where are you going? Tomorrow you're hopping on a plane or you're driving. But I know you said Arizona, but
Well, yeah, but I mean, I want to go back to Europe. I did out of university. I did 5 weeks vacation, backpacking, hosteling with my sister, and we did 8 countries in 5 weeks on the Eurail train pass. Hit as you go down to Greece and back up to Holland.
Yeah.
I'd like to just go to the south of France for a few weeks and then just go to Greece. Now that I've hit 8, and I never did Spain. I wouldn't mind doing like England, Scotland. I wouldn't mind going a little bit to Europe because I've traveled so extensively
I want Scotland.
in the United States and Canada that I wouldn't mind, looking at going to Europe again.
I was in England and France, Belgium when
me
I
too.
was
not England.
9. No, wait a minute. Oh, sorry, I was 11 when we went. But I'd like to. I wish I could go back. I have a lot of family over there. But
Oh.
Scotland is where I really.
Yeah.
I'd love to go there. So,
Yeah, I'd like to do
That's
like
cool.
England, Ireland, Scotland kind of thing. I'd also like
Yeah.
to do Australia. too.
So-
I wouldn't mind. My cousin lives there.
So there's a retirement goal for Katherine. Hey? Retirement
I'll
goal
always
right
travel
there.
as long as my health is good. I'm traveling.
Why not?
So
Yeah, you can't
I
stop.
love
so.
that very
Okay,
much.
we're done. So thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for
Thanks.
having me, Tony.
I hope everybody enjoys it. Anyway, they got to see a little bit of the side of you that.
Good
You
luck
don't
in your
normally see?
upcoming season of your podcast.
Yeah, thanks. I had to take had some surgery back in July, and
Yeah.
because of diabetes, and you've
Mm-hmm.
seen my ups and downs, and I've had some pretty extreme highs and some really deadly lows, and been on insulin now almost 25 years, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole life altering thing. So I had to get used to new teeth, and I'm still
They
not.
look great though,
I,
Tony.
I appreciate it. Thank you. They're
Yeah.
not feeling very nice. I'll tell you that.
They look good.
I'm still not talking really where I want to be yet.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of words still slur, but yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't fallen out on me, so that's
That's
a
good.
positive.
You kept them in your mouth
There's
for
a
this interview.
blooper.
That was good. Shoot.
There's a blooper. So yeah, thanks, Katherine.
Okay,
I appreciate
thanks.
it. So
Thanks,
all
Tony.
right. So anybody, I guess you're not going to see her on the street walking around,
You have
but
to come to the courthouse to say hi
bring her coffee and a
for
donut.
Wellington. No, I don't drink coffee.
Okay, so
No coffee.
No coffee for Katherine.
Green tea,
Okay,
maybe.
Green tea. Okay.
Yeah.
Green tea. All right. Take care, folks.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Katherine. Bye.